Yeah, because a whole lot has happened this week, and still yet it didn't stop me from putting my face here. So that's I'm grateful for a whole lot of things that's gone down this week, like from having a day to doing this one, being down with malaria and the legs, but get all thanks to God. So if you're new here, you're welcome. To all my subscribers, thank you guys. I love you all. So I'm Adekala Oluwatomo, a Nigerian fashion designer. I do videos on DIY outfits, on sewing tips, styling tips, and also I don't get to leave out the business part of it. Oh, money. Okay, so if you like any of that, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to also turn on the notification button so you get notified when I post any of my videos. So in today's DIY video, I'll be showing you how to make a skirt with a front slit. Yeah, like we all know, a skirt is a versatile piece of clothing. You can either wear it to office, you could wear it in hangouts, you could wear it to, I mean, you can wear it anywhere, and you could also pair it up with other kind of clothes like your brown neck, your two top, your shirt. I mean, mention it. So in today's DIY video, you'll be needing just three measurements: your skirt length, your skirt waist, and your hip set. Just those three. Once you've known those three, that's it. So stay tuned and let's go to the cutting table. Let's go and cut. Let's show them that we can do it, guys. Alright. Okay, so all you'll be needing for this skirt is your fabric. I'm using a black crepe fabric. It's quite thick, so if you're using a lightweight fabric, you'll be needing a matching lining for it. Then you will also be needing a matching zip. I'm using a normal size skirt zip that comes in 9.5 inch and 24 centimeter. That's the normal skirt zip. Then a matching thread, and I'll be using these buttons to decorate my skirt along the slit line. Then I'll be using this, it's called PCB fleece, also known as paper stay. I'll be using it for my waistband, and I have my 40 inches steel meter rule and my metric pattern master, and I also have my scissors. So that's for today's class. That's on today's tutorial, sorry. So then I'll be folding according to my hip measure. My hip measure divided by 4. If you're working with a plain fabric, try as much as possible to know the wrong side and the right side. Wrong side, right side, that's meaning the place that's supposed to be outside and the place that's supposed to be inside. I hope you understand like that. So my hip is 35 inches divided by 4 as 8.75, and I'll be needing like 2 inches extra. So 8.75 then plus 2 inches, that's 10.75. So your hold should be by 10.75. Then the next thing you need to confirm is your length, and I'm working with the 28 inches length. So I'll be demarcating from here. So that's that. Then the next thing you need to do is you'd measure your waist, your hip line and your waistline. So since this is an high waist skirt, I'm using 8 inches for my hip line. That's 8 inches from the waistline. Okay, so the next thing I'll now start doing is to start measuring on the line. This is my waistline, this is my hip line, and this is my hem line. Then on my waistline, I have my waist to be 27 inches. So 27 inches divided by 4. You're basically dividing all your measurements by 4. So 27 inches divided by 4, that's 6.75. I'll be adding an inch for that. So that's 7.75. Gonna chop that just right there. Okay, then I'll come here when I measure my hip measurement, which is 8.75. Then I'll be deducting 1 inch from, I don't want it to be too pencil because of my shape. I went too many pencils just to show that I'm too straight, so I just make it straight like that. So the minimum I reduce for mine is 1 inch. You can go as far as reducing 1.5 from yours. So I'll come here and I mark 7.75. And all I just do is I make a straight line here, especially for those that are very curvy. It's very important for you to do. Make a straight line here, then connect it to the hem line. So, and you connect it straight to your hip line. You can see mine is very easy to connect, but someone that is so curvy, you might not be able to use this straight stuff, so you just use the curvy part of your pattern master. That's if you have one. If you don't have, you can as well use that straight line to make it easier for you to connect your lines. So now the next thing I'll be adding now is my seam allowance, and I'll be using just 1 inch because I'm not using lining. I don't want it to be too bulky. I prefer to use 1/2 inch itself. I prefer to use 1/2 inch, but I can decide to gift it to someone else and it's not their size. I don't start adjusting like that, like that. So to my seam, so I'll just connect that. That's for my. I initially didn't add my measurements, my sewing allowance to it, so that I can show you what I am doing, so it's not just like I'm jumping steps. So I thought it's going to have a slit, so I'm going to be using like 1/2 inch to join my slit back. That's 1/2 inch on this side and 1/2 inch on the other side, so I'll be adding that 1/2 inch too. I'm adding so many things. So now I want to explain something. If you're making a simple skirt that doesn't have a slit, like you're not going to cut, you're not cutting anything, you're not joining anything back. If it's just going to be one line that has a slit, you add 1/2 inch. But if you're going to be cutting through, for the 2 lines you add 1 inch back. I think I would prefer to do the 2 lines, so let me just add 1 inch. It gives it one kind of unique look, gives it another kind of fitting, apart from the random skirt. You can see this, my pattern master is short. It's just because I don't like this. My metal is always too long for me to handle, so I most times use this. So, and that's that. You can see I had to break it down. This 1 inch is for my sewing allowance, and this 1 inch is for me to join back what I'm going to cut through. I'm going to show you how I'm going to cut it through now. And then the next thing I would have to do is to chop for my dart. So I mark 4 inches, 4 inches, then 4 inches down. Now let me explain something. If I'm marking 4 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches, I don't need to mark it down here if I'm just going to sew my dart. But then I want to cut along the dart line, so I want to make it a straight line. I want to connect it so it's not, so I don't have issues joining it. So the next thing is connect your lines. Connect your lines. Okay. I wasn't gonna use this, but let me not stressing myself. Okay. That's it. So I'll mark half an inch here and half an inch here. Then I would connect that. Okay. So now let me explain another thing here. If I'm doing a straight skirt, I'm going to hold it that my dart actually stops an inch before this is it stops an inch before your hip line. So I'm just going to cut through now. You're cutting, try as much as possible to hold down your fabric, especially if you're using a kind of sticky fabric. Please try and hold it down so you don't get so listen to stories that touch there. Front piece. This is your front piece, and I'm going to just keep this aside and fold another for my back piece. Okay. Alright. So when you're folding for your back piece, you make sure that your back piece is so is an inch at least an inch bigger than your front piece, because you need to fix a zipper at the back in between, except you're fixing your zipper by the side of your skirt. Otherwise, make sure your back piece is an inch, at least an inch bigger than your front piece, or as much as possible you want to use for your zipper allowance. But then I use 1 inch, so I'm going to be making sure mine is bigger by just an inch. Just an inch. So I'm bringing back my front piece. Okay, so that's it. So now remember I added 1 inch for joining back of the slit, and you know the back doesn't have any slit. I'm joining back, so I'm going to reduce it. I'm going to make sure, okay, so this is even This is even good safe. I'm using 1 inch for my zipper allowance. Now let me explain something. In case you are using 2 inch, or in case you're not using this slit, in case you're not making a skirt with a slit, you just have to, you would have to create your zipper allowance like this, just like this. That's, yeah. But then because by the time I join this back, by the time I join this using this allowance I created here, it's going to still give me back my zipper allowance. I don't know if you understand it, but then that's it. I'm just gonna cut my back like that. Make sure it's rhyming, please, and please make sure it's rhyming. And if you're still a learner, it's quite easy. You have your face pin, you can just pin it down. Pin it down, go to the center, pin it down, go to the end part, also pin it down. Alright, and cut. If you're cutting, make sure you are not having anything under. I almost cut my zip now. And make sure your TV is very or almost clear. It's very important. If not, you might be ruining something else. That's it. Okay. Cut, 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 cut. Right, so the next thing you need to do now is make sure you transfer all your darts to the back. Your dart is 7 inches long. Keep your front piece. Transfer your dart. Now remember we used 4 inch here, but because we have 1 inch sewing allowance, zip allowance at the back, we're using 5 inch, 5 inches long and 5 inches wide, 5 inches and 7 inches long at the back. Okay, so alright, half an inch, half an inch. Okay, and the next you need to do is fold the back and do the same thing, because you know we are working on a fold, so you do that and you chalk 5 inch, mark your 5 inch, and after marking you make sure to connect your lines. After connecting your lines, you'd also mark the half inch and the half inch, and you make sure it's 7 inches long. Make sure it's 7 inches long. Make sure it is 7 inches long. So that's that. So before you um open your back piece into two, make sure you use pin to hold it down so one side is not more than the other side. You know, many times I use my pin and make sure, if you're using a very shaky fabric, make sure to use your pin. Use as much as possible pin you can use, and you can open it. Alright, so that's that for my back piece. And back to our front piece. I told you I was going to open it, so I'm just gonna go to the back and make the same thing I did at the front. No mistakes, just the same thing all over again. 4 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches, and connect. Connect it and connect. Alright, after connecting, then I said, you know, our benchmark was our hip line, so half inch, you come up 1 inch, then can just, alright, so that's that. Now I'm just going to be cutting out my darts because I'm going to be joining it back. Alright, cut out your second one, make it line. That's it. I've gotten rid of one dart. Okay, so once you've done that, not to mix up your piece, you mark this as side front. I don't know if you can see that I did, so side front. So I already know that this is my side front, and I know this is my upper part and this is my end part. I'm not making any notations at the thumb part. So this is my waistline. I already know that's my waistline, so I don't get to mix it up. Then you turn over and do the same thing for the back. So before you cut, make sure you, then this is my center front, so I know the pieces I am joining to each other. Good. So this is my center front, and before I forget, you don't want to put your waistline on your at your hemline, so be sure to alright, that's it. Okay, so we have our pieces ready. You can see it's in pieces, so you don't get to mix it up. That was the essence. The next thing I will need to do after coupling my pieces together, I would need to cut out my waistband. So for my waistband, I use waist 27, so I'll just cut it out by like this. Okay. There is nothing too serious here. You just got out your waistband, your waist measurement plus at least 2 inches or 1.5. So I added 1.5, sorry, 1.5 on both sides, that's 3 inches. So this is 30 inches, that's 15 inches right by 2. You know it's on a fold, so I'm going to be cutting by 4 inches wide. Okay, all right. Okay, before you trim it off, make sure to confirm again that. And the next thing I'll just do is cut an exact piece of it. There's the rough face is the place you're going to use to iron on the rough side of your clothes. And so you can see that's the end of today's video. I decided to make this video in 2 parts. That's part 1 of it. Part 1 covers all the cutting, and part 2 is going to be a sew along. So I'm expecting you guys to go and cut yours and keep it tight. Please don't let any piece get lost. Tie it and let's do the sew along the next time I upload the part 2. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I know you liked it, so don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Like, that is get stressed. Just give it a thumbs up. And also don't forget to tell a friend that needs a friend that needs a skirt, that needs an slit skirt to either rock a party, or maybe you want to dress up and like